That's a good start.
Yeah, definitely a good start.
Once we get in, my game doesn't crash like usual. My game constantly crashes at the moment, so I don't think happens on
Oh,
spectator. But now we're
there we go.
finally in, and welcome to a cloudy Spa. Shot for round 13, and the final time at Spa for Tier 1, and we've got Q1 to start off with. We've only 16 drivers in at the moment. And we've got LR Rob as well with me. Not alone this time, so it'll be a bit easier to commentate. And no one's come out yet.
No, I'm just wondering if they're all checking the weather for the race. Oh, someone is out. It's coming out. I believe it's a Renault. Yes, it is. Is it Lloyd?
There's Lloyd
Oh
is
yeah, Lloyd's the only
first one
Renault.
out.
I wants to be on stream, as he always said to me.
Always the first one out. Do a bit of weaving. Yeah, we'd never know about the weather, but normally, well, you never know with the weather around, as we're quite in the mountains, I would say. So, weather easily changeable. As in Tier 2, we did have a bit of rain at about Tier 3.
Next person is a reserve with ABR Connor. And also Cab X. No, oh, some other people have also come up now.
So only one person can be knocked out in Q1.
Oh, yes. Gonna be spicy.
So that very unlucky driver who's going to get knocked out.
Predictions of who may get pole after this quality.
Ooh.
What do you reckon?
Who was on pole last time? Is it Tom? I can't remember. It was a few weeks ago, as we did have a break week, so...
Yeah.
I have no idea what people's pace is around it. Well, I know Bruno Will and Atomic is quite fast around it.
Yes.
We have to wait and see. So, Lloyd nearly at his end of his outlap.
Matthew, I'd also guess, would be as very quick as well around here.
Another quick driver. As Lloyd makes his way through the Buttrell chicane to start the first lap of this session on the soft tyres. Probably only needs one lap in this session. Should be enough to get him through unless he ends up at the bottom. Down the hill he goes, then through a Rouge, and then a Radion. Famous sequence of corners. Down the nice long Kenwell straight to go along. And then it's just a nice wait with DRS open. Just to go across the first sector time. 29.9. No idea what that is in compared to the other drivers, as he's the first one through, so obviously it will be purple. And back down the hill for the rest of the lap, basically. Locks up. It's very easy to lock up down through that long right-hander there.
Yeah.
Start of the second sector.
29.94 from the next driver behind Lloyd of the AlphaTauri.
As Lloyd just invalidates his lap on the exit of Pouon. Yeah, it's very easy to do around here, as I did find out with how many penalties I got from last race. Which I will not be talking about.
The car in 11th at the minute is on a very good luck because he's next.
Still not know how to pronounce half of these drivers' names. Augustin, I think. I'm gonna guess at that. Is the only driver, well, the first driver to still on a valid lap. Purple again, obviously. What can he do?
Maybe
in the AlphaTauri?
Purple again. Oh, Lloyd pitted.
So finally, first person across the line. What can he do? He does a 42.3.
Ooh.
And Connor just obliterates that lap already.
Who's
me change the
next?
gap.
Someone
Mercedes,
has pushed the AlphaTauri down to P3. Linus goes P4. Not the best of starts from Linus.
as McFly joins, so yeah, he is a driver in here, so don't have to restart like last time. Who is about to come across the line? I think Bruno will. Taking a wide line out of the bus stop to get the best exit past the start-finish line to start his lap. As it's just stuck on the fastest lap corner.
ABR Murphy spins while starting his lap. So he is not going to be doing a lap here.
He won't be carrying on with that one.
No. So he'll either pit or go to low fuel to just get a lap done. Lloyd is back out.
He should be fine to do a lap. What does Bruno will do in the first sector? 29.8. So then Sparks does a 41.9. 41.4. 3 attempts faster than Connor. But as we said, there's only going to be one person knocked out. So not really a very important session, except for one person, basically. So
if that other person gets in a car like they could be doing, or joined, they could also knock another person out. Person is very decent big lockup from VRT Callum.
got quite a few drivers out on track so far, but not everyone's. Probably a few of them set a lap so far. So Bruno will want to bleed the championship leader. Yes, is about to come across the line. What can he do? He does it second by just under a tenth. That should be probably put him through. Murphy comes in. Who is finishing that lap? Callum is finishing his lap as he locks up Deegan's and goes straight into the pits.
Twice I've seen him lock up, so the first one was a decently sized lock up. Oh, not a very good lap from the person, I don't know how to say his name, but 8th position, the Alfa Romeo, and he has also invalidated this lap.
Yes, Lloyd is validated and Sparks is retired, so he thinks he can get through on that, which is, I think he will be.
Yes.
Lloyd is basically stopped, but he is invalidated in his first lap anyway.
From Ryan in the same place as Callum locked up. You see very many drivers lock up there, especially in every tier so far. Oh, is this car going to be in the way? Nope.
Yeah, he gets perfectly out of the way, just off the circuit.
I would say Bruno's also safe here.
My game is now slightly glitched already. It's just still saying Connor fastest lap, which is wrong, because Sparks has set the fastest lap, so ignore that.
Ryan's just gone purple though, in the second sector. I don't know if it's a glitch or not, but it's come up as purple.
It keeps on saying that it's purple most of the
And
time,
another
so
lock
just...
up from Ryan.
For the Ferrari driver.
P4.
So we've still got quite a fair few people to do a lap. Someone out laps. Lloyd still needs to set a lap time. He was the first one out in this session, who invalidated his second run as well. Hopefully he does have enough fuel to get round again. Satan does 8 seconds off, so I don't think that's a competitive lap time. Is Lloyd going again? He is.
Hamilton has Invalidated. Don't know if if he has enough fuel though.
Lloyd losing the back end out of the source.
Oh dear.
I think last time Lloyd invalidated top of a Radion. Doesn't do that this time.
Atomics has not come out of the pit.
Feeling fairly confident they can put a lap in last minute. Well, it's only, as we're going to say again, one person going to get knocked out.
Connor
Actually, no,
is
who's joined? McFly's joined, so he's actually in
Fly.
the thing now, so 2. I didn't realise he could join from then, as Lloyd keeps it in within the white lines. Through the fast left-hander, slight lift.
Ooh.
Doesn't validate there.
Matthew has only gone 9th. He will be wanting to do another lap, but he is out of fuel.
Well, I think that is the slowest of the, well, I would say normal times. As not the hour, it's just done 5 seconds off the pace. So.
Oh, Linus goes wide and invalidates in sector 2.
Very frustrating.
Looked like he would have been on for a good lap as well.
So Lloyd into the butt stop once again. Finally set a lap that he didn't invalidate, and he goes 11th of 1.3 seconds off Spark.
Connor is about to finish his lap.
He's slightly up on his time. See if he can
Yes.
improve through the last sector. He does, but not by
as much.
just a little bit. Who else?
Aiden
People
is
had to set
down
a
on
lap.
his time, it says.
So Atomic, Hamilton, Murphy, and Fly.
Linus
Callum not yet, really hasn't set a time.
just started his lap.
Callum has just put one in there, into 9th place.
These drivers that have not set a lap will be wanting to set a lap very soon.
Well, we've only got 5 minutes, 17 seconds left. As Atomic finally comes out of the pits and starts his lap. Car number 74 for Haas. Says who's just come out of the pits? An Alpha Tauri of either
Ooh, Linus
Dustin or
nearly
Hayden.
spins by getting on the curb too much. But he is up near enough 4/10 on his lap. Let's see if it will put him in front of Callum or not. It's gonna be close. Let's get this last sector key. And he does, he goes P5.
Good improvement from Linus there.
He tends to P5.
As his teammate is on a lap as well, which I don't think he really needs to do as he's
Not
really close
really.
to Sparks, but there's no harm in getting more practicing around this circuit in these conditions. It's looking cloudy, which you never know. There might be a bit of rain later on in qualifying.
Did someone crash? No, it just got out of the way. Oh, and Linus is out of fuel. I believe.
Yeah, he just trundled back. As who's just caught up to? Was that? Oh, and as Bruno will just gets out of the way of Atomic, who's about to finish his lap. Where does this put him? 9th place.
Not as good as he would have wanted it, possibly.
No, so Lloyd is back out again. Not else probably needs to set a time and
Atomic, if he does want to
Hamilton.
get another lap in, he will have to pit because of his fuel.
So Hamilton about to come across the line in the Alfa Romeo, puts it 5th, so he'll probably be quite safe with that time.
Yes. 3 ABRs in a row. In Poly 1 at the moment.
Bit of teamwork there.
Oh yeah.
All in Ferrari powered cars. I've just noticed as well. I keep on looking down to my screen and it says fast lap, which there isn't, which is very confusing.
And McFly is going out to do a lap now for his first lap.
Tom.
Lloyd will be wanting to improve, and he will have to watch out for Matthew and Callum. As it does start raining, this could be bad for everybody just coming out the pits. This will not help them.
This is gonna spice things up for people who haven't set a lap like Lloyd. I know he can improve, and McFly and Murphy.
Question is, will he be able to improve
already.
with this weather?
I think for a little bit you can, but once the track does start to get wet and we don't have wet tyres clearing the water away, there will be no dry line, and then you'll just be sliding around everywhere as Matthew is just spun
Oh dear.
out of Le Com. She doesn't
And Atomic retires.
It's probably a good time to put your lap in now,
through the first
because people won't be able to improve with the wet conditions.
Lloyd is getting a little bit of a slipstream from Ryan.
Probably helped him a little bit. He's down. Effectively still in, Lloyd. Hoping that McFly and Murphy can't improve, and he loses the back end.
That is his lap abandoned. He will hope McFly will not be able to get a lap. And Murphy.
McFly is on a lap, but it says 9 minutes. So, and it is raining even heavier now, so it's very unlikely they're going to improve now. So Lloyd might just be safe here as McFly nearly loses it across the line.
That is already his lap ruins.
Murphy is a few temps down in the first sector compared to
the
main runners who started. Yeah, it's Codemasters. Don't trust them.
Yeah, they need to improve. People are starting to retire now.
Yeah, and Murphy loses back end. Probably a bit of front wing damage there.
Be Lloyd completely safe now, because Murphy and McFly have both done a mess up. As
Lloyd has got very lucky.
McFly has invalidated, and Murphy will not be able to do anything because of that front wing.
Well, I believe that must be it. No one can really improve in these conditions anymore,
No.
so I'm guessing it's going to be wet for Q2, which will make it interesting for the start of the race.
Trying to improve a little bit.
Has he broken anything?
Doesn't look like it. Nope.
As long as he just
went into the grass.
Okay, I see.
And he does it again.
So it's definitely getting wet now, or too wet for slicks
Definitely
now.
going to be full wet tyres for, well, it's going to be intermediate.
Most likely enters.
And he's trying to get out of the way.
Nearly hits the Mercedes. So everyone's sliding around everywhere at the end of the session.
If the weather gets this bad, they should be just allowed to retire wherever they are, because it wouldn't be that fair.
No one's really
if
saying
they just no, exactly. It wouldn't be fair if they just crashed out. As
Aiden, just like Aiden's having fun at the moment. Are you allowed to reset the track?
No, you're not.
Well, it's not. No one is on track behind him
at
at all, so you should be fine with that.
And to be fair, with this weather, he can't really do much, and he just wants to get back. So and he just he can't do this anymore, so he just retires. As
Fair
Bruno,
enough.
does Bruno cross? Oh, and Bruno spins on the line. And loses his front wing part, but anyway.
Well, that's Q1 done. As McFly
Well,
and Murphy are out. Didn't set a time in before the rain decided to turn up in Spa.
what was
As
very
Lloyd
unlucky,
somehow made it through with
very,
fairly slow lap,
very
as he invalidated twice, I
small
believe.
margin. If those boys set a lap, Lloyd would be out.
Yeah, so Spark is well, first in Q1, which won't make much difference when we get to the wet conditions for Q2. But the people out are McFly and Murphy of the Racing Point and the Williams. No time set by both of them. Lloyd just about getting through, and that was basically the
Question
main
is,
talking points now.
will the wet weather make this grid reverse? So would the fast runners at the moment be lower down and the slower drivers at the moment be higher up?
Well, what I found, well, as Tier 2 was wet, which I raced in, qualifying was very difficult. You have to lift off massively through a Rouge and Radion. So you'll see how, if anyone, there will be more incidents
Oh
as
yes.
people find the limits of this track. But now it's wet now, and if it's dry for the race, they can choose whatever tyre they want to start on
What
for
most
the race.
possibly would pick are the softs or mediums, fastest tyres.
Yeah, well, softs don't last long.
No, but in Tier 3 we managed to get them 10 laps because we had a safety car at the beginning.
Yeah, you can get them a certain way, but then the medium tyres just become fast when they've got
yes.
long life grip, as it is definitely intermediate conditions. I don't know about wet, as people are coming out now. What are they coming
What
out?
are they coming
They are on
on?
inters by the looks of it.
Yes, everyone's on inters.
So intermediate conditions, it's going to be very tricky.
Is Lloyd the first
finding the
one out
limits.
again? I think he is.
Is
Yes,
it?
he is.
It still says Connor with a fastest lap. Third Masters fixture game.
Games.
You see, it's quite easy to spin on your outlap as well. around here.
Lloyd lifts off. It'll be interesting if we see a crash though. Very
They
interesting.
need to be wise enough to not push around this point of your, well, not even on your lap yet.
Question is, will anybody be pushing that much and spin on the lap? You never know what can happen.
It's just finding a limit. It seems like the rain is definitely getting heavier, so you never know.
Could be full wet.
Might start getting full wet, as I seem like I want to go out as early as I can to get the best of the conditions until it gets heavy rain.
It does look like
So
Lloyd is
everyone out
pushing,
at the start.
so he knows
got no one
where
near
he
him.
can push hard and then has to back off. As you would definitely have to back up off in the first sector. Very
Got
hard
a huge train of
when
cars.
it's dry.
just-
Oh yeah,
some people sitting in the pits thinking that
nah.
they might not set their best time on the intermediates.
Yeah.
So Lloyd obviously out again, which he likes to do. First one to experience the conditions.
Question is, will he
Out.
spin?
That's always a question in Formula 1 if they spin or not.
Oh yes.
And the question is as well, can they take Blanchimont
Everyone
flag, which I
is out of
decided
pits
to take a
except
little
for
lift.
one person now.
I didn't change the tyres. Forget that when it changes between sessions. Detail, as Lloyd looks like he's trying to get traction.
Didn't have the best
Oh.
of starts of laps. Bit wobbly. As
So
everybody
Lloyd
is
on his
still
lap.
quite bunched.
Oh, as Lloyd hits the wall.
And
he's not
everybody
using that
is
lap.
still quite bunched up, even though they've started a lap. They're still very close to each other.
We'll follow Callum instead then, as he, for a Rouge, how much did he lift off? He just shifts down to 7th to slow the engine down a bit, use a bit of the engine braking. Flat out through here, Lloyd gets out the way very nicely.
Yeah,
No
he's gonna.
DRS in the
Any
wet
of them get
conditions.
behind him to get bit there? Oh no, he stands still.
They still haven't changed the things correctly. There you go. Didn't see what Callum got
Aiden set up
in his first
32.
sector. So we'll most likely be in the 53s area in these conditions, but it depends if we get to wet. So, what can VRT Callum do? Through pull on, how much did he lift off? I shift down to 6 like he did.
I'm gonna go on board with Ryan, see what Ryan set at 31.6 in the first sector.
So they're all fairly close behind her. Who is that Alfa Romeo? I think it's Hamilton and one of the Haas drivers. Actually, no, it's one of the Haas driver and Alfa Romeos getting close because they let him through by the looks of it on the track now.
Yes.
So, these wet conditions of these drivers, and now obviously now Callum is experiencing for the first time. Definitely looks like might be wet conditions in a minute in Q3, which make it very interesting setting who's on pole.
It would be very good if they have to go full wet for quality
Into the chicane.
3.
Yeah, for quality it'd make it very interesting as we love a bit of wet conditions. As he does a 54.4. We're just going to do a 52.4, so a much
57,
quicker lap by Connor.
54. Very mixed lap times. From pole sitter.
We still don't know if
in
it's wet
Q1.
for race yet, though, do we?
No. From pole sitter in Q1 is now in P4, so you never know how it will turn out.
Well, some drivers are occasionally
and we have
good
a
in the wet.
retirement.
Who's that? It's not Yao who's put it in the bang at top of Radio,
Oh dear.
where Kevin Magnussen crashed in 2016.
Ryan went
Is that right?
P2. We've got ABR 1, 2, 3 at the minute.
So, Connor with a very fast lap, nearly a second away from Hamilton at the moment. I still haven't changed the gap. I keep on forgetting to change the settings of and I've turned that off. You can tell that I've been doing this for a long time. So Bruno Will hasn't set a lap yet.
Lloyd is out to finish his first sector. 32-1. I'll put him at the moment around P4, I would say. He does not have
So
the best of lines.
championship leader across the line goes second. But still Connor with a 4 tenths advantage over the closest man.
Oh dear, it's not ABR 1, 2, 3 anymore.
What a shame is Lloyd is definitely up on his lap time as he's 54 seconds off. So it's like I cannot really tell as who just went there. Ryan put it in there. Is it Ryan? Something oh, Aiden put it in there with 6 tenths off.
I'm just gonna ask in chat if it's rain for a race.
Good idea. It all depends if how much you fuel for this qualifying session, because you can just put lots of fuel in and keep on lapping. As Lloyd nearly loses it through Blanchimont, but keeps it all together. Late braking into the bus stop chicane. Takes that nicely. Trying to get a best exit. Quite hard to do with no traction control.
And
He only puts it 11th.
Oh.
He seems like he's struggling, as he's pretty sure this is one of his favourite tracks around here.
Yes,
But
it is.
the wet probably is not his best.
Wet changes everything.
forte.
Though.
So go on board. Yeah, it definitely looks like heavy rain now. Who hasn't?
Ooh,
Matthew also
definitely has to slow
validated it.
down.
So as Matthew goes miles wide on his validated lap, might go again. Depends on how much fuel he has.
One thing I've just noticed, Atomic is quite fast at most tracks, but he is down in 9th at the minute.
But it's weird how these condition changes, because I don't think they'll improve on full wets. They might do. It might be that situation where it's like in between intermediates and wet. So wets could be fast, so that could clear more water off the surface of the track.
I have just
No one
found
has
out
tried
from
that.
chat. It is dry in the beginning, but rain at the end of the race.
Now that's gonna be 2008 all over again when they're slipping and sliding everywhere through final laps, and it depends on who put wets on, as people now starting left. I don't know why I'm spectating Matthew.
Still, 3 people have not set laps.
No one ventured out on wets yet, so they still feel confident that Inters are the fastest tyre. As Red Bull and Sparks go up the hill. Brilliant Everlate. I can't speak now. Everlate. I can't speak ever. I give up with saying that word. Heels
Lloyd
in this
goes
track.
to 9th, improves by a second and 3/10. Pushes Atomic into the drop zone. Oh, Lloyd nearly
so
loses it again.
Easy to look up. You lose the back end here. There's very important traction zones around this track. Turn 1 out of the top chicane, start the first sector.
There are a lot of people bunched up as well in sector 2.
Sparks is coming up into a McLaren and an Alfa Romeo, but they are on a slow lap by the looks of it. It looks like he's catching them by a lot. Hopefully they get out of the way in time, as he is 2 tenths up through the second sector. Purple it says in the game, but never trust that.
2 tenths could put him in front of Bruno, as Bruno improves and gets P1. Definitely
Improves
should put him
by a decent amount.
P3 then, if he's 2 tenths up.
So Bruno could be through with that lap. You never know in the wet conditions how it can change, but
Yep,
Sparks you put
P3.
it third.
And Aiden did also
Good
go
lap
up
by
to
the
P4. So he has moved one down.
About to start a lap.
Yes.
Oh no, who just crossed the line? It was Connor who just started a lap.
He wants P1 back. It's only 1/10 roughly he needs to improve by. As Atomic has started this lap now.
So we have had... I don't think we've had any spins yet so far, so they've been quite good of keeping on the track at the moment. I'll say that, and there's
Well, we
Racing
did
Point
have
off
the
road.
one
No, McLaren.
the Alpha. I believe he spun, did he? And crashed out up on the hill.
Oh no, he did. Yes, I forgot about that. So not Yao is out, which I believe he is a reserve. So not always racing, which is a bit difficult when you're just hopping straight into any old car and try to set a lap, as Aiden nearly loses the back end, which you don't want to do there.
As Lloyd made sectors.
Just said he
Oh dear, what's going on?
some-
Yeah, Lloyd's invalidated,
Oh.
and he was. Looked to me that he blocked a little bit of the Alpha. The Alpha looked like he's going. The Alpha lost his wing.
Oh, that's Lloyd who's... I thought he spun it then. What's gone on there then?
Lloyd is out of
Alpha
fuel, is
Tauris.
he? Yes, Lloyd is
Seemed
out
like
of
he was
fuel.
going slow.
Lloyd's out of fuel. As they do have to watch out for the Williams. What is Matthew, is it? He's on the out
Yeah,
lap.
Matthews out lap at the
He would
moment.
still want to
So
get
2
past
minutes
Lloyd.
left.
Will
Still
Lloyd
got
make-
2 drivers to set a
Lloyd
lap.
might not make it around for a new lap.
Well, if he's run out of fuel, then
Lloyd
he's not getting
yeah.
anywhere.
And so is the Alpha Tauri in 12th. He has got no front wing near enough on one side. So that's both of their races over technically. Yeah, because there's no way
So
they're getting in
both,
and out.
yeah, both Altaris are out at the moment.
The one
Augustin is
the Alpha
probably the
Tauri
one
in
person
12th though is
to
not going to get
pull
another
him out
lap
of the drop zone.
because he has got a very damaged front wing.
What's Matthews? Just starting a lap with basically 2 minutes to go. What can he do? He hasn't set a lap at all, so he hasn't really had much experience with these conditions, as he does lock up into the source. Does he get a good exit? He does. Careful on the throttle.
It's now or never for most drivers.
Is how much do you risk it through
Oh.
Rouge? He lifts quite late.
Alpha Tauri
Is
of
that an
Cab X nearly loses it, and that will be his lap. Not very well, so does have time if he has enough fuel.
yeah, he only puts it 12, but you can just keep on lapping around here when it doesn't really suck up your ERS much around in the wet. You can just constantly lap. So Matthew is the only person that hasn't set a lap, as if at least if he sets a valid lap, he'll beat Not Yao, as he's crashed out.
Linus
Lloyd is
is
retired.
Only a tenth up on his lap time. That will not get him through at the minute. He needs to be at least 6 tenths. So this could be Linus out as well.
As Matthew just invalidates it there.
Callum
Can he
is
get round in time?
Callum is
Just a
6
question
tenths
for him.
down on his time, it says.
Matthew needs to rush to get to the line. I don't think he'll get there in time as there's 10 seconds left.
Atomic
He's just
needs to go
invalidated
as
on
well.
the exit.
Atomic needs to go.
Atomic is
Atomic's
in
out
at
of
the
fuel.
moment.
Atomic needs to get out
Matthew
of
is not
Matthew's
going to
way.
get to the line. Nah, he's not going to get to the line as the session is over, as Hamilton just
That is
finished his session.
That's unlucky for
So-
Matthew. Oh, it's letting
Yeah,
him do
well,
a
he
lap
just
though.
invalidated.
Oh no, it's not. I was just about to say.
Yeah, it's that. Sometimes it's that glitch. You can set a lap, which you're not allowed to do. As Linus is on a lap, I believe. Is he's on
Yes.
low fuel, but he's got enough to cross the line. Hopefully, I have a feeling it's going to be full wets for Q3. Where does this put him?
Nope.
And he doesn't improve. But no, he does improve, but doesn't get
By
into the top 10. So
1.5
that is him
tenths.
out.
Will the Alpha Tauri improve? And
He's
I've
got
just
quite a lot to make up.
nope.
He does
And I've just
improve,
put a
but
glimpse
not by
in my eye of chat. Matthew saying great. I'm out.
yeah, well, he did just lose his lap by a tiny bit on the exit of the chicane at the end of the second sector. So
And
that
he's
is
still out on
qualifying
the
2 done.
Ryan Pitts
Looks like heavy rain now. Yeah, everyone is done now. So
could just cross the line,
no one
boys.
improving.
It's so much faster. As Connor does, but Connor may improve.
Connor
No.
doesn't need to improve. As they've only got 3 sets of intermediates, but they've only used 1 this session, unless they've used 2.
Some people
But
have
it
used
not really
3.
makes much difference in this session.
No, it does not.
It looks like it'll be full wets for Q3. You never know. Don't know what the conditions are like out there, as we are not racing. So that is Q2 done and dusted. And one Mercedes is on top at the moment, and one is out.
Unlucky for Mercedes.
So not surprised that the championship leader is on top in Q2, but we haven't got to the business end, which is Q3. So Bruno Will was the fastest in these wet conditions by just over a tenth from Connor, but the people out are Linus, Augustin, Haydai, Not Yao, and Matthew, who didn't set a time.
Very
Just
unlucky for
invalidated at the
Matthew.
end. Fair gap between Linus and Atomic, but Linus didn't improve enough to get past Atomic, so Atomic just squeezing through into Q3. And let's see what the conditions are like next time. It could dry out, but there's not much difference in time. It'll probably be raining for the last part of qualifying, so I'm looking forward to this, but I don't really know what people's wet paces around here. So anyone's guess for pole at the moment.
Someone
Not that important, it's quite good for second around here.
Someone said in chat, lost 3 tenths, and then Matthew put at least just did a lap. Oh,
He has
poor
points, so
Matthew.
Can't really tell how hard it's raining. Probably full wets. Now, I'm going to put money on Lloyd coming out first. Actually, no, I don't want to put money on it. There's a high chance of him coming out first.
Oh
He's
yeah.
done that every single session. As we've only got 12 minutes to decide
So far,
top
it
10.
is the Red Bull, Lloyd's, and
Damn
yep,
it.
Red Bull. It's the Red Bull. Lloyd, what are you
One time
doing?
I say it.
Lloyd is out
So
next, though,
Sparks is
possibly.
So we have the
Yes,
2 McLarens
Lloyd is
in and the
second
2
out.
Hassan.
Which-
No, we've got the Ferrari and Alfa Romeo and 1 Mercedes and 1 Racing Point in. Out on full wet, not full wets, intermediates.
Everybody has intermediate set. Oh,
And
oh!
did he nearly somehow by
Doesn't
some?
take any damage. What?
How's he got away with that? He's
Zero
lucky to
damage.
survive out of that.
As he did go into the wall
So
massively.
Sparks, who was first in Q1, nearly lose at the top of Radion. Probably testing how much speed you can take through there for his first lap.
That would have been very unlucky if he crashed out.
So we've got Lloyd behind him. Aiden taking a nice detour across the chicane. Still finding out the grip, as they've already done a session in this weather, but still trying to find the limits of grip of this intermediate tyre.
Oh, as we have a spin.
As he spun again.
Yes, he got on the
Has he
curb.
lost any wing this time?
No, he just
Maybe.
hit the curb and...
Can't exactly see. No, he has
No.
kept his wing intact again, so he spun twice in one out lap.
Not very nice on his tyres.
So now Lloyd is now the first one out. Who's going to set a lap.
As he
So
always
after all
wants to
that-
be first one out.
Who stayed in the pits. Spardon and Hamilton have stayed in the pits.
Yes.
As Spardon just comes out of the pits now, so
And Hamilton
got
is still
very
in.
loads of free track. Yeah, he might just wait. You never know. See if the it improves. It seems like the rain's got lighter now, so definitely intermediate conditions now. So Lloyd starts his lap. Breaking around the 100-meter board as he
If
locks
they-
up into turn 1. Takes the apex, nice. Traction and short shifts into 3rd and 4th. See how much he lifts through Rouge. Just a little bit. Carries your speed up the hill. No DRS this time as it is wet.
So far, it
No
looks
one in
like
front of him.
everybody has lifted off at Eau Rouge.
Yeah, you will not be taking this flat at all as Lloyd has a 31.9 in the first sector, which is basically just a
Ooh.
straight.
Closest person to being flat out is the Red Bull at the moment. He's the only one I've seen near enough flat out.
As Lloyd locks up. It's the long right-hander. Won't affect him much. Lose the back end there a little bit. How much speed can he take through there? Probably 130 miles per hour through Pilon. Carries his speed, nearly loses the back end again, so a bit of tail happy from Lloyd here. Through the final parts of the second sector. Can he get a good enough exit to carry with him all the way through the third sector?
Callum does touch the curb a bit too much, I would have said.
So Lloyd in the Renault. First one who's going to cross the line. Can he keep it through there? He can. Now into big braking zone of a bus stop chicane. Slows it down enough. Doesn't look like he lucked up there. Nice exit out of that. Try not to get any wheel spin. Where's... He obviously put him first with a 30... 30?
Yeah, P1.
Callum just beats it already, so I couldn't even say Lloyd's time. So
Ryan
keep on improving. Connor
validated.
does a 51.7. That's a great lap by the
Ooh.
Haas driver. Looks like probably the best in these wet conditions so far. So Sparks to 50. I can't keep on
Ryan
30.
Pitts.
57.3. 57. What? I can't read
Bruno
numbers.
is P7. Oh no, P2.
So it
It says
looks like
P7.
looks like Bruno and Connor are the fastest in these wet conditions. Looks like they've done a little bit of practice.
By at least a second, just over a
So
second.
Bardon, who came out with a clear drag ahead of him, still does have a clear drag ahead of him. Making his way through the second section now. If I remember from a few weeks ago, he was holding everyone up in Hungary, and he says he goes purple in the second sector.
I'm not
I don't
sure
think
if
that is
that
correct.
is true. Let's have a look.
He said a 125, which I think I saw someone do a 123,
23,
so
yeah.
2 seconds down. I need to change the thing again with the gap to the leader, so Bruno will only 2 tenths off, but a huge gap to Aiden. 1.4 seconds off corner at the moment is Aiden. The racing point, he's going to come across the line, set his time and go 5 seconds off, so not really a representative time. As it
Hamilton
depends
is
if people want to go again.
next on the lap, is it? Lloyd's still in front. Is Lloyd pitting though? Nope. Lloyd's on the lap still.
So some people want to do 2 laps. Who has spun? That's Bardon on top of the hill where he's lost his front wing.
Oh dear.
Not big damage, but just lost an end plate, so he should be able to recover from that as he
still is facing
gets
the
out of the way
wrong
of
way.
Lloyd.
Oh, will he get moving quick enough?
Yeah, he's alright. Hopefully he just gets out of the way of Lloyd, who's coming out the hill now, which he does. All good.
Lloyd's getting a bit of toe. Or a bit closer.
Bruno Will has improved as Hamilton comes through the final 2 corners. What can he do? In the Alfa Romeo, nearly loses a little bit of traction, and 1.2 seconds off. Fastest time of Bruno Will. Connor is only a 10th off at the moment, but he is pitted. It depends if you want to pit for new tyres, if you have any, and you have enough fuel to go around for a few laps.
Dear.
There's
I spun
4
again,
bits
has he?
left. Yeah, with that low grip, he might have done.
Definitely someone did spin.
As Ryan comes out of the pit.
Let's hope he does get
So
out of the
he's going to
way
do a few laps.
for everybody else.
Thomas only on an out lap. Some people setting 2 laps, which is probably
and
looks
the
like what
Red Bull
everyone wants to
behind
do.
him has invalidated.
Okay, so it's kind of 2 groups here. We've got the top 2, and then we've got this mid pack, roughly a second and a bit off. Very tight in that midfield section
Oh yes.
of the top 10.
But we are still waiting for Ryan and Atomic to set that up.
Atomic and Ryan have just come out, so Atomic's going to be the first one across the line of them 2. Do you want to take them on a lap with Atomic?
I can do.
As I
Or
ride
already a
aboard
lock up in
Locks up.
two.
Not a good start.
No, at all. As everyone so far is pitting as well. Oh, and another little lock up into the first corner just before. A little bit of the back end out, sliding. Does he take this near enough lap? A little bit. Just knows where is he compared to everybody else in the first sector. 31.5. Let's have a look.
Decent time, I think, in the first sector.
That is just behind Connor and in front of Aiden. So at the moment he is on for P2, P3.
Can he keep through the last 2 sectors?
As everybody else that has pitted is on new intermediates. Ooh, another slide from the back end. Keeps it straight though. Ooh, and another big slide. Oh, not going very well at the moment. Will it
Probably
at
cost him a
least
few tenths.
secure him P3? Oh, and another one. think that's 4 in that sector. And this does put him P3. So both
It's a good prediction by you. You said third.
Yeah.
So, Haas 2-3 at the moment, as we are now out on our new intermediate tyres. Sparks hasn't. He's kept on these 4-lap old intermediates, as he's looks like he's drying out now.
Very small gap also between Sparks and Atomic.
This is DRS enabled, so it's nearly dry enough for
it's
effectively
unlucky
slicks
for
now.
everybody what's just gone on to new inters, but possibly could have gone on to softs.
Yeah, maybe with a little bit of rain, maybe not. Maybe not enough
Tried
time to get
does
around.
look decently.
So
clear.
Sparks a 10.5 up through the first sector, so I think it's basically whoever gets to the line last who has the best grip. Or it might just heat up their intermediate tyres too much if it's that dry.
Yes.
As Sparks
end
lift off
up
completely through that
badly.
section, and maybe he wants to go for all
Have a look
enough
at Lloyd.
times.
Does Lloyd go flat out? Backs off a little bit.
So I might as well, for probably the last lap of the session, which it will be for Bruno Will, starting a lap now.
31.5.
Provisional pole sitter. Locks up into the source.
Lloyd could also be on for P3 as long
I think all these positions
as
are going to change as
he is looking at the roughly time of what Atomic has done on his last lap there.
very slight lift, as now Bruno Will does get DRS this time around, so all these drivers will get DRS on the Kemmel straight and the pit straight. He is lost out of Rouge to Alfa Romeo, I think. Because Bruno Will purple, I was too busy looking at whoever spun on top of Radion, but Bruno Will
no wing damage
on a
though.
quick lap.
Spark Atomic has gone down to P4.
So who's going to get in the way of Bruno
Connor
Will?
was 2 tenths up, but invalidated. Oh dear.
Big lift. Sparks finishes lap. He is 6 tenths off Bruno Will at the moment, but Bruno Will still on a lap and can improve.
He is 2 tenths
Got a
up
racing
at the
point in
minute.
the way. What can he do through the second sector? He looks like he's going to improve, but it looks really dry now. Looks like he's still 2 tenths off, so he looks like he's going to improve, even though it's bone dry at the moment round Spa.
It's a
Constant
shame
changing weather
nobody
around here.
gambled for the softs. So this could have really paid off for them right now.
So people finishing their laps now. No big changes as Connor can't improve his lap. So he will not be getting pole as Bruno Will is 2 tenths up for the second sector through the final chicane. What can he do? Can he improve on his time? And he does. He improves by 3 tenths. That's a great
Who
lap
is
from
that in
Bruno
the
Will.
wall? Oh, that is Lloyd.
Aiden.
Oh dear.
Next one to come across the line. There's no Callum was. He puts it into 5th. Where can Aiden put it compared to his teammate? He just pushes him back down 1 place. As Hamilton is the last man. He's slow. So
equal.
that is qualifying done as it starts to dry out here in Spa.
What is Hamilton doing is the question.
He's not setting a lap, so no one
And
improving.
he's
So
doing donuts, is he? Yes, he is.
he can do what he wants.
As he is the
So
last on track.
Bruno Will with a fair big margin in the wet compared to the others. Connor is the closest man, 4 tenths off.
Shame no one
Who
took
was that?
the
Was
risk.
that Lloyd in the
That is Lloyd
barrier?
in the barrier, yes.
That will not matter. That's it. From intelligence by you, we will be having a little bit of rain at the end of the race, which will make it interesting. So, top 10 are Bruno Will with a 1 minute 51.3, fastest lap time today in this session. Connor 2nd, Sparks in the Red Bull in 3rd, Atomic in the Haas in 4th place, Aiden and Callum, the 2 McLarens together in 5th and 6th, Spardon, Hamilton, Lloyd and Ryan rounds off the field. Ryan not really setting a competitive lap time at the end of the session. They could have done maybe a lap time on the slicks if you went out right at the end of the
If
session.
someone took the gamble, never know what could have happened.
But if they just felt confident on that tyre, on the intermediate tyres, which is probably the logical decision,
It's a shame.
no one took the chance.
Say if Lloyd or Atomic went out on them, they could have had pole quite easily if the track was
Yeah,
dry
if they
enough
kept a lap together.
in sector 1 or back in second.
So it looks very nice and sunny now compared to the rain we had a few minutes ago. Just waiting for people to ready up and put. I don't need to put on setups now, so they can choose any tyre they want, as it did rain in Q2. So it all depends on what people start on. Softs will give you the much better grip off the line, as it's like 270 meters to the first corner, so a very short run to the first corner, but it's all about the exit up through the Kemmel Straight and into the chicane, which is normally it happens lots of incidents like Hamilton and Rosberg 2014, 15. My memory is not serving me well at the moment, but very famous incidents happens along that Kemmel Straight, and many big incidents as well, like 2012 when we had a huge crash with Romain Grosjean sending Lewis Hamilton over everyone. Also the 1998 crash, which triggered loads of crashes, which won't be happening at the start of the race as it is dry.
I reckon. Do you reckon anyone's gonna copy the first turn incident?
I don't think they want to do that. Well, there is a Haas near the front,
So
so I'm not saying anything.
you never
You
know.
just see someone jump starting like Maldonado, and then all hell breaks
Ooh,
loose.
near enough everybody is on the mediums except for Aiden Softs, Ryan Hards, Murphy Hards, and a car what is no longer in the session in P14 on the softs. This could be.
Is he ghosting? If you
Yes.
could, like, maybe invite him back. Because I might have the same issue that I did, which
Yeah,
was
he's definitely left.
between sessions you game crashes and then you can't do anything about it and just puts you straight onto the softs.
That's
Yeah, so people are electing to go on the hards first. So normally the stop strategy on the softs is 10 or 8 laps on the soft tyre, and then you switch onto the hards and mediums. It doesn't matter, they'll do the same thing, but mediums are the preferred one as it gives you much more grip for a longer period of time. But medium tyres, you'll go back onto the softs at the end of the race, which you need to look out for. And there's probably quite a high chance of safety car around here.
Oh yes. Never know what can happen.
As Bruno Wills decided to hold everyone back up, as he did sprint away a bit, as there's a massive gap between cars at the moment, formation that, but that doesn't matter.
I have invited the Alpha Tauri back, but does not
Yeah,
say
he might
he's
have
online.
to use the AI for his start though, that's the only problem, which actually for me, as I was second in tier 2, actually gave me a better start than the first place man.
Yeah, I found
Because my game crashed,
AI is
but then
very
you will
overpowered
needs to do things.
on starts.
Well, I couldn't do anything about it as my game crashed, so finally we get to the bus stop chicane, so we can all line up for the last time around Spa for round 13.
I'm gonna go on board with Matthew for the start of this race.
Okay, hopefully we have no incidents. Obviously
Hopefully.
the main overtaking point is turn 1 and
Yes.
what turns
I
that?
know turn 1 is a good overtaking place, because I went from P11 to
Turn
P7
6.
straight
I think.
away. It's also about picking up on other people's mistakes.
So hopefully we load, and that's the view of ABR Connor. And what is this camera angle? We've got miles away on my view at the moment.
Yeah, I just said
Lights still
that.
haven't come on yet. This is Brilliant camera review from Codemasters here, as lights are finally starting coming on. We have 5 red lights here in Spa, and they'll go out quite quickly as
not
Bruno
a
Will
very
is
good
starting
start
to cover off
from
Connor here.
Matthew. And
First into the as McLaren gets squeezed to the wall
everyone
on
is
the
ghosted
apex.
for me.
Yeah, a little bit as Bruno Will leads into turn 1. What's
Ooh,
Connor doing? Not
there is
side by side
contact
with
at the
anyone.
back. Ryan did nearly get shoved into the wall.
So Aiden will have a brilliant slipstream, and with these softer tyres, what can he do? He's got great speed, but now Connor's got the slipstream of Sparks as well. What can Aiden do? Can he send it down the inside of Connor? He does, so Connor's lost out massively at the start of this race. And now in the clutch of Spard on the racing point. Bruno Will is leading the way at the moment as Aiden is on the best position as they all lock up into the long right-hander there. Managed to get through relatively cleanly. No one. Has anyone got any damage at the back?
Not
Yowers
what
at
I've
the back.
noticed, but there has been lockups and pushes off track, but not really much damage. As Matthew nearly gets his
stop strategy.
Oh, and the AlphaTauri has spun and nearly took Matthew out. He had to Murphy out and had
Lost
to
it on the
slam on
entrance
his
of P1.
brakes.
No damage to the AlphaTauri, so he seems to be safe. As who is holding up? One of the Williams is holding up someone on the hard tyres. Who is that?
The first Williams
Doesn't
is
look like
Murphy.
it's got damage, but he's holding people up here. Who will send it down the inside into the chicane? Anyone close enough to make a move as Sparks locks up, and he's hit the back of Bruno Will as well.
Oh,
The
no.
consequences of that. And now they're side by side.
That is
Doesn't
not
seem like he's got
damage,
any wing damage from
No
that.
damage.
But somehow he's just compromised Bruno Will's exit with that lockup side by side as he's ghosting at the
front
moment,
wheel
and he sends
damage.
him wide. That will give Aiden the chance. So most of them are ghosting at the moment, which is not helping. He somehow keeps his position.
I believe that only
Aiden
ghosting
right behind
for
him.
us though. I do not believe they're ghosting for them.
Bruno will have to defend from Sparks at the moment.
Another
Aiden
run
will
on
get
him.
a lovely view at this. Tries to defend the inside, break the toe.
Aiden could get an advantage from this if these two go wide and have contact, as Bruno does back out.
Has to give in to Sparks there, so a bit of contact at the chicane has compromised him all the way up the hill there, and he has to give away his first place.
Massive lock up from
Position
Aiden,
that he kept.
and Connor goes up that inside to the outside of him.
And who's that? That's Connor going around the outside. Don't really want to go around the outside of P1. No,
but he
has to
did
stop
start
behind him
on
for
the
the time being.
inside. And Lloyd loses it. Nearly takes out Hamilton.
Oh, and there's an Alfa Romeo as well who's lost
Lloyd
it as well.
did have contact with
Hamilton
him, I
as
do
well.
believe.
So everyone's spinning at P1 at the moment as there's a yellow flag, but everyone's got back going again. See if Bruno will get a good exit out of.
I think that was very unlucky for the Alfa Romeo of Hamilton, because as Lloyd was spinning,
Yeah, you can't go side by side through there.
Lloyd span and
Connor's
then
got
his
the
car
racing
came
point
back on
behind him.
track, and Hamilton tried to go up the inside.
Connor locks up, so I feel like Bruno might want to report that to the stewards after the race. Depends on his finishing position, as Sparks did make contact into the final chicane, as there will be DRS enabled now, so
Connor
Bruno will.
has been overtaken. Oh, but no, Connor got a better run on the outside. There could be contact between these two.
Can they go side by side through
No.
Rouge? No, he has to through
He
a radio
backs
as
out.
well. I wouldn't want to be doing
Would
that.
he
It's now
get
Bruno
a
will.
lovely
Is
slipstream
in
and
the
overtake?
slipstream.
Oh yes, easily.
Is Bruno will. He's looking for the inside. No, he
Connor did
about it
not use
differently.
his ERS.
Yeah, uses up your ERS a lot down here, or down the straight. It's the main bit that you want to use your thing. It helps with DRS as well, as everyone locks up into the long right-hander.
Let's see about positions gained.
So Bruno Wills has to settle behind him as Aiden is now right behind him. So we've got these front three at the moment.
Linus
And
has
Spartan has made his way
gained-
through the field.
So far, the person what has gained the most positions is McFly. from 7 positions.
Yeah, he started round about the back, I think I remember where he qualified. So Bruno will can't really stay to the back of Sparks at the moment, as Aid on the soft tyre definitely has the grip advantage at the start of
Is
this
anybody
race.
close enough to make a move on anyone?
Maybe Linus, maybe might go for a... Oh, and there's Connor's round.
Oh dear.
Looks like he might have made contact with someone there, and he has to spin it back round.
Who was Connor
So
next
it's
to?
terrible start for Connor, who started second,
13 places he's dropped now. And
No, he started
his
third. He's
tyres
lost the
are
back end
very
loose.
hot, so he's just lost the
Yeah.
back end again.
By the looks of it, Bruno Will is still just about keeping within DRS. 5 temps between the top 2. Can he get a good enough
The top
slipstream? How
4
much DRS has he
have
got?
pulled away, mind. Ever so slightly.
Sparks is weaving on the Kemmel straight.
Is he allowed to do that?
Well, it's only one change position, and Bruno Will's nowhere near to make a move at the moment, so nothing can really happen there. Who is about to make a move?
We do have
No one into the com.
We do have 9th position to 5th position, the closest out of everybody.
A big group there. So no position changes this.
Oh, and Lloyd goes onto the grass, and Murphy could get past him now. And
Callum
picks
gets
up
a free
penalty.
sit. But they have changed the graphics now, so we can see who's got penalties, but they won't tell us how many they have.
No.
So Callum is the first one to get a penalty, which is easily done around
But
here.
for the drivers what are around him, they will be able to see that he has a penalty and what time.
Yes. As Codemaster had changed graphics. So Bruno, Will and Sparks have now pulled away from Aiden a little bit. As Aiden is now caught back up. It was a second, but the slipstream of both of them is helping him. His soft tyres will start going off around about lap 8.
Linus is in DRS zone of Callum.
So Sparks sets the fastest lap.
Question is, will Linus
He's really close to Callum.
go for a dive bomb? He looks at it and decides not at the moment.
We've got a huge train here. It's either pass or be passed. But Callum is getting put under pressure by the Mercedes of Linus at the moment.
Could be making a move just after the DRS zone for Linus.
Nearly good past him on top of Radion. He's already passed him without even DRS at all,
Oh.
so he's already got past him.
Is
Now
Callum
will come under attack from Atomic.
Callum is on low ERS
Nice
though. Callum is on very
He
low
is.
ERS from everybody else. And
As
another car with
Gustin gets a 3 second time penalty.
penalties.
Oh, you'll probably have to check them, won't you? Because by myself, normally I can't check them.
No, they're all 3 seconds at the moment.
Obviously all 3 seconds at the moment, once they all add up. Hopefully these drivers are a bit cleaner than my tier and tier 3. So the highest placed hard runner is
We shouldn't
is
really
Murphy.
talk about tier 3.
Oh, I didn't watch it.
Oh.
I'm probably there'll be more
If anybody
More
missed
penalties.
Hungary, go and look at our YouTube channel and check tier 3 out to see the chaos what happens.
It's always close in every tier, as Atomic cannot get close down this straight even with slipstream, but doesn't really have much ERS. Bruno Will is now a second away from Sparks, so look like
Atomic,
they're similar pace at the top 2.
Atomic could get Callum here. He'll
Callum
get
seems
ever
like he's
so
struggling
closer.
on those low ERS. So Linus looks like he's definitely got pace when he didn't have good qualifying in the wet. But now he's starting to come into his zone with the fastest lap of the race on those medium tyres. So Aiden will now be struggling on those soft tyres. Start going off up the hill with Atomic, 4 tenths behind Callum, BRT teammate of course. It seems like it's just going to be an easy pass, and he just
Not much.
lets him
Not
through,
much
doesn't
battling.
defend it.
He does have to use his
Doesn't- yeah.
ERS though.
Callum's got no ERS at all, so
Oh no.
can't really defend it. I don't think he might have got DRS.
Callum
from
did
Linus
have
in front.
DRS, yes. As
He
the
did.
Atomic does lock up. And that helps McFly get closer to Callum. Poor Lloyd. Even.
Oh, and there's Murphy. Who's that? Matthews just spun.
Oh no. That would not have been the way Matthew would have wanted to do that.
Sparks, the
3
leader, gets
second
a time
penalty.
penalty.
Did he run out wides? After a couple of
He might
warnings.
have got it out the chicane
Ah.
of sector 2.
Oh.
So Sparks and Bruno has made a huge
I
gap for
hadn't
themselves.
noticed, but Hamilton got a penalty as well.
Okay, so a few people getting penalties early in this race, and we're on lap 6 already. Who is close to make a move into the chicane?
Murphy is close to
No one
Lloyd,
by the looks of it.
but possibly get him after Radion, like Linus did to Callum. I'd say that's Murphy's best bet.
He just had DRS down the main straight.
He's
Probably not the
saving
best place
his-
to pass.
He's saving
It's
his
top.
ERS. He's got 75% ERS, and Lloyd has only got 40. Lloyd does already keep his ERS on.
As looks like Bruno Will is fairly close to.
And Murphy gets a penalty
No,
for running
not close enough.
wide.
Let's
Lloyd
go back
is
to.
low ERS now. Will Murphy
He's
make
good.
it around the outside?
Let's go.
Oh, these two touch.
Contact there.
Murphy has
Murphy
to
can't
give
do
the
anything.
position backwards. But still,
Couldn't really see from the camera angle I was on, but bit of contact there.
any of them have damage? Nope.
No, it was just a bit of wheel banging in the middle of the corner on the apex. Yes, we still got this bit of train in the middle. It looks like
Yes, it's.
Spardon is holding them up at the moment. I think Aiden is now started it now.
Aiden has lost his grip because there was not this big of a gap between him and Bruno, and now fourth position has closed up. So he
So
will
that
be wanting
aggressive
to pit.
strategy
They'd work in the
has changed
beginning.
as Bruno Will is now got really close to the back of Sparks now.
And he has loads
Can't
of
go round the
ERS.
outside of Blanchimont.
He has 80
Got to go to the
odd-
outside for the chicane.
He is 85% ERS.
Can he outbreaks him completely? Can he go around the
covers him
outside?
off.
No. Cuts him off.
Oh,
Nice
but he
into
loses the back
chicane.
end and Bruno keeps it straight. I'm surprised
Sparks
Bruno
struggling
has
with
not
tyres.
used his ERS yet, because he is near enough on
He's
max
straight
ERS.
down the inside. Yeah, he's saving that ERS for a few laps now by the seems of it, and he gets past at turn 1, which is not the best place to pass, because now the Red Bulls of Sparks will get. He's got to go side by side. No, he doesn't. That's a great move from Sparks. Got a better exit out of
and
turn
Bruno
1, but now
has missed
Bruno.
out on DRS now.
So he won't get DRS either, but he'll get slipstream. But that DRS will give you a few miles per hour more than the guy without it. So that's very unlucky with Bruno Will. He made a very lunge into turn 1.
Linus.
Callum loses another place.
Out of this pack so far, Aiden has the most ERS.
And there's some
But it's
big
on-
changes down there.
Aiden's another massive lockup from Aiden. This could,
They all seem to lock up there
Linus
though, don't
could
they?
get a double overtake because Aiden is on very low grip and Spartans does not have a lot of ERS compared to Linus. So if he times it right, he could possibly get a double overtake.
So, Sparks has just lost the back end through the chicane. Now just brings Bruno Will back into play again. He's putting the pressure on him massively now. They've got loads of space behind him. He's got loads of ERS. He's been saving of that up for ages now. Sparks goes to the inside to break the toe. Bruno Will's not having any of that. He's just taking his own line. Will he go for the chicane move again? Maybe might wait until the top of the hill.
I have
Through the
just
bus
flicked
stop.
through everybody, and VRT Matthew
Aiden is
already
in the pits.
has a fuel warning
Bruno
light.
Will. Oh, yeah, deciding whether he lifted off there. They're doing what Sergio Perez and Alex Albon did, trying to decide who wants to get the DRS. So now Bruno Will back in front, but it's not close
And
enough. He's
Aiden
just
pits.
kinda
Aiden
gone deep
finally
anyway.
pits.
might bring Spardon back onto me. Yeah, he's
That
pitted. Those
is
tyres will be
brought
gone
Aiden
now.
to last.
So that little move from Sparks should get the DRS, which he's got. Can he make the move done? So Bruno will gets to lead easily. He's gone centred down the inside. Can he make the move stick? Yes, he does. Another great battle at the front, but this is closing up the people behind. This nice long train is now caught back up to the leaders again. So
What?
now
Yeah.
Aiden has pitted, they've just brought them back into play again.
It's really weird because we had the from P3 to P8 all in a bunch, and because these two leaders have been battling instead of just gaining time to everybody else.
They've still
or
got a little
everybody
bit of a
into
gap.
play.
though. They're just deciding who wants to get DRS at the top of the straight, which is extremely powerful. Just weird, is that
And
this
a
certain track?
3-second penalty. Linus's first 3-second penalty.
Bruno will
What
still on the back
always
of him.
changes the race at the end.
Hill mixes it up as Murphy still the highest. What's happened to
Oh,
Sparks?
these
Did a
boys-
massive wave.
these
You
boys are
can't go side by
side
side
at the
through
minute.
there.
As P3 looks like he's gonna get in on the action.
Spardon's going to go round the outside of Bruno Will, the championship leader. He's made the move by the looks of it. He's got the inside line for the other side of the chicane, but who can get the better exit
nope.
as he's lost the back end? And this is going to give his
This
teammate, who
could
Linus,
give
who
Linus
started
an opportunity.
quite far back. This is
Oh,
not
as-
helping these two guys. Sparks has gone wide as well.
He went
Didn't
the McFly looked like he went into the back of Atomic because Atomic locked up.
so
Nearly
close up
hit
through
him.
Radion as well. Now Bruno Will is good as breeze past him at the moment with DRS. Now
As
Spardon
Linus
what's
is
going to get
just-
past him as well. He
Yes. Oh
sticks it
no.
down the inside as well. Can he
As
keep it?
Linus
Yes, he
has just
does.
stayed back at the minute watching this fight.
I think as soon as one person breaks away enough that they can't get him down the straight with DRS, they should be also Bruno
Oh,
Will
and
locks up
Bruno's
massively,
locked up.
and now this is going to give Sparks a
Oh,
chance as they make contact.
Contact! Damage! That is damage. Is that to Sparks?
Sparks has lost his
Yes, end plate.
a bit of his front wing end plate, and Spardon is a perfect place to
dear.
go around the inside of Bill. And can he do that with the broken front wing, trying to
Question
trust
is,
Sparks, the Red Bull?
does Bruno have damage? Bruno does not have damage, but Linus is looking.
Teammate.
Oh, and he gets
Yes,
to double
they-
overtake.
The
What a
two leaders are
awesome
now
double
back into
overtake.
third and fourth now. As now Spardon's got a second already on them, as the damage of Sparks is holding everyone up here. So that has changed the race completely. These two guys fighting, who were first and second after qualifying, is now still
He's
holding
great.
people up. Bruno Will's still behind him. How is he still behind him with that damage?
Bruno
He's sure he's got a pit now. Bruno Will's got to send it down the inside, which he does, and he's hit him, and he's
contact.
nearly spun it, and he doesn't come into the pits, which is interesting. So he's just holding everyone up, and there's
I
people
don't
side by
think-
side everywhere.
I don't think he would have been able to pit because Bruno went on the inside.
Yeah, that's the only downside with this straight. Who goes down the inside? That is
Oh.
Gustin goes down the inside of Atomic. No, goes down the inside of the Mercedes of Bruno Will, whereas Sparks nearly loses the back end
Loses
multiple
it.
times. Oh dear, what is happening? Someone's
Oh.
on the inside of their
It's gonna
side by
be a
side
spin
through a Rouge and the Radion
No,
there. And the AlphaTauri goes wide. They're so close.
Oh,
Got a huge train here. Who is this? Is Callum, who was struggling at the
Callum could
start of
have
the
had
race.
him. Callum could have
Atomic.
had Sparks, but Sparks went over too much and blocked Callum.
Can't keep up with
And
these many driver changes at the moment.
oh no,
So,
and Callum goes
look-
down to P8 because he tried to go on the inside of Sparks.
So I can't keep up. So what's just happened here?
And
So
this
we
is even
tried to
brought
settle
Lloyd
down.
back into the mix.
Well,
Lloyd
so
is
we've got
back into
a
the
train
mix.
of a few cars here. So Bruno Will's like the main gap at the moment. So Spardon and Linus has gained massively. Now Linus is now back on to the back of Racing Point. Does have a penalty though, and Sparks
Yes.
does have damage, so he's going to be holding people up now as well. Now Bruno Will hopefully he doesn't have front wing damage of after
There's a
hitting
train
Sparks
of
as well.
5 stuck behind Sparks to the minute, and Sparks to span. By Murphy,
Spun it
looked
on the
like
exit.
Looked like he had contact with Murphy. Oh, and he hits the racing point. He takes
Oh,
out the
there's
racing
a
point.
huge one. There's a safety car already.
In defence, Sparks should not have turned into the racing point and put the racing point into the barrier. So that is
Was
just
it
a bit-
McFly that? Yeah, it must be McFly. As Bruno Will pits. I was
Yeah.
watching Linus. I was hoping that he might have made a move, so this give people chance to pit. less time in the pit lane, of course, as the safety car is now out. This helps not who's miles behind everyone at the moment.
And Bruno pitted out of the 2 Mercedes.
There's too much going on.
Oh,
I can't. My
Callum
mind
hit
is
the
boggled at the
softs
moment.
on.
That is a fairly
risky.
early pit stop. He's hoping the safety car's going to be out for a while, so these drivers will now pit. He's gone onto the
Yes.
soft tyres. Someone's gone onto the
But
hards. That's
still could
the
be
AlphaTauri
risky.
of Heyday T. So the leader's elected to pit. So I can't remember where everyone. Let's have a look at position change and who's gained what. So Linus has gained 9 positions, but Murphy has gained 12 on those hard tyres. Great start for him, and we're over halfway now. So some people have decided to pit. That was too much to focus on at that point.
Bruno,
People side by
Callum,
side, everyone.
Hamilton, Matthew, McFly, and ABR. Connor are all on the softs except for the AI what pitted for the mediums and the AlphaTauri what decided to go on the hards.
You said that there could be rain at the end of the race,
Yes.
so this could make it interesting. People who stopped has lost some positions. Will have to pit again if it does rain enough.
Bruno could get a very big jump on here because everybody in front of him except for Aiden are on 11 lap old tyres, except for Murphy what is on hards.
It's not how disconnected he is. Okay, I thought he was still racing.
No.
Well, I think the safety car will still wait for him, even though he's not in the
Yeah,
game.
the safety car will be waiting.
This will change everything. This safety car bunches to fill back up, which they already were quite bunched up already.
Yeah. P1 to P10 were very bunched before the safety car. And
I honestly couldn't keep up with half the move going on there.
I'm surprised Lloyd's did not pit.
Has anyone got any damage? Let's have a look at their front wings.
McFly did, but he pitted after Sparks.
Sparks is retired. I didn't notice that.
Nah, Sparks crashed out.
Oh no, Sparks crashed, didn't he? So yeah.
Yeah, he had contact with McFly because McFly was going on the inside and Sparks just wiped right across. I don't know if he lost the back end and just tried to correct it and didn't notice.
Well, Sparks already had damage anyway from contact before.
Yeah, but he ran out wide and then came back across to the other side of the track. So
some instance to have a look during the race, but safety car is out. Rain may be imminent, as it has got cloudy. It was partly cloudy at the start of the race. Now it's overcast. People on the mediums, top 4 on the mediums, and Murphy, who started on those hard tyres, and Ryan started on those hard tyres as well.
Yeah,
so
no one in the
Aiden,
top
who
7.
pitted on the softs beforehand, is now in 8th.
Everyone has pitted except for the top 7, so they will still. So technically, Aiden is leading this race.
I think the AlphaTauri of Heyday T has made a mistake of going the hards, because if it does rain, and it rains in a couple of laps time, which it has, I can see on the cars there is rain on the halo.
Yeah, he started on the mediums, what is a disadvantage. So he would have either gone softs, and he possibly isn't as confident on softs. Question is, Callum's given up a position because he went off of track. And Hamilton gained that.
There's gonna be that glitch where it says give your place back and all that stuff. So he might get a 5-second a minute. So sparred on. Hopefully we're waiting until it rains enough, which it has started raining. Not hard enough, so there might be a few laps on slick. Safety car is in this lap. So, see who can keep in these slippery conditions as it does start raining in this very unpredictable place in the world.
I'm going to go on board with Bruno since he is on the softs.
Yeah, see how many positions Bruno Will can make up with those soft tyres while he can. Depends how hard it rains, so
It
Linus
could be
is
a
behind
very
Sparta.
good strategy from the top 7 if it does start chucking it down. But if it doesn't, they are in the worst position ever. If it's dry enough to stay on the slicks, they are the worst.
The racing point gone, the safety car has just entered the pits now. He can go whenever he wants, as he is the leader. He has decided to go early, before the chicane, as he heads through the chicane now. Can't pass until the line, as Lloyd gets a 3-second time penalty for probably cutting the bit of the chicane. But Spardon keeps his first place as Capagustin goes down the inside of Atomic as they are side by side. As it seems like a little bit of contact. Do you want to go side by side through a Rouge? I don't think Atomic does.
Bruno backs out of going up the inside
quite spaced
of
out. Well, Gustin seems like he's got the temperature in the tyres.
Making a move on Ryan. Let's get on board with these two then. It's going to be 50-50 into this corner. No, Aiden got it, but
terrible
he went wide
there for that.
So Ryan does keep the position.
Bruno Will is now on the inside of it.
Nearly went up the inside, but Aiden closed him off.
Going to go down the inside of there, who can like brake latest as Aiden locks up on medium tyres, which is done 4 laps.
Bruno does need to watch out for the curbs if he does try it again. And Bruno does nearly run into the back of him.
Aiden is holding all of these drivers up behind him, all on soft tyres, so he's going to have a difficult job keeping all these guys behind while it starts carrying raining.
Hamilton did get past Callum.
Cause Callum is
Aiden gets a
having a look at him.
Penalty.
And looking behind as Callum locks up and nearly hits the Alfa Romeo of Hamilton. What can Bruno Will do? He's got loads of ERS saving behind the safety car. Is Linus going to have a look at Spardon going into the chicane as the AlphaTauri goes wide in the background? Does he go down the inside? No, he can't brake later. And as he hits him and somehow doesn't break his front wing.
Bruno's going around the outside of Aiden.
Linus
and he does make it work.
takes the lead.
Does Aiden get the cut back there? No, he does not. Will Hamilton now overtake Aiden? Yes, he does.
Linus
more than likely now
hits the back of the racing point again.
As well.
As he loses another position, so him hitting the racing point there has cost him a position there.
Who is
behind the AlphaTauri, Augustin. Linus has lost a few positions now.
Oh dear.
But now there is a free-card train here, as Augustin is trying to keep up on behind of the racing point. Can they go side by side? This is looking good for Linus if they make any contact, which they do a little bit, and it's raining harder now.
Question is, will Linus be able to make a move if any of them lock up?
They do.
No.
Someone did. One of them did.
Oh, and there is contact between Murphy and Atomic. Just a bit of rear ending, but no damage.
So we're back into the cinema position where we've got basically a whole field of cars in a train, and a few people got
once again also
penalties.
Nearly hits Murphy.
As Aiden is dropping back on those medium tyres, so obviously not the best tyres to be on in these probably quite cold conditions at the moment with the rain.
He's looking for a move around the outside of Lloyd.
Just the problem with Tier 1, they're all in the train and I can't keep an eye on everyone at one time, so
there is
massive
a gap from 10th
Ryan
to Aiden though. Aiden is at big risk here from everybody behind him.
What's Ryan going to do is he's right behind Lloyd now. Will Ryan have a look down the inside?
For the last lap, they have had a bit of contact.
Oh, and he's made contact with Murphy as well. Just like Rubens Barrichello in 2010, hits the back
Ryan
of
has
the
got
Williams.
past Lloyd because of that incident.
As he pushes him onto the grass into the braking zone. Now that
he nearly had his wing as well. And Lloyd
the back end as well.
But does keep in front of Hamilton just.
Somewhere out of all the chaos that's going on, Augustin has got into the lead at the moment.
We need to keep an eye out for DRS disabled, because then it could possibly be pitting time.
People have pitted into intermediates. Aiden
Oh
and
yeah,
Bruno Will and
Bruno.
Luke Fly has gone into the pits for intermediates, so they think it's wet enough. Definitely, it looks like it
It's a
is
gamble.
getting wetter on board with Spardon behind the AlphaTauri. We've still got a really large train from first all the way back to 12th, as who drops down. That was an from Romeo of Hamilton. As who's just spun. That's McFly who stopped on track. He's not. He's got back going again.
Is on the inside of Lloyd, as Lloyd does run a little bit wide.
Just check the gaps. What's going on here?
Side by side right now from Lloyd and Callum.
And Lloyd goes way too wide. This gives Matthew the chance to go down the inside. No, but that might help Connor get through
I
of
think
the
there
Williams.
was a bit of contact as Lloyd's back end did look. Oh, and Callum gets the 3-second
Matthew
penalty.
is right on the back of him at the moment.
These two
He's
boys
basically pushing him
kind
through
of want to work together.
When do these guys want to pit? Is the question for intermediates, but we don't know until the other drivers. As Matthew sends it down the inside, people side by side. Gustin goes into the pits. They're all going into the pits at the moment. Some deciding to stay out.
Callum nearly lost it, trying to go around the outside of Ryan.
This is going to change everything. The crossover between dries and wet. We see where Bruno Will comes out. He is in the chicane at the moment, so he seems like he might jump a few people as they're getting their intermediate tyres on, but it depends how much the leaders lose during this section of the race, as quite a fair few of them has stayed out.
Must be time for Inters as well, because
fairly wet at the moment. Who is
Lloyd pitted.
Connor and Hamilton. Connor gets past.
Bruno does
Hamilton
not.
gets past Connor.
Bruno is not in the lead.
Callum loses the back end. Where's Bruno? So Bruno hasn't actually gained too many positions from going on to the intermediates earlier. I think the lap that these guys just pitted now was the right time to go on, as Callum loses the back end again. So these wet conditions are spicing everything up. It's like 2008 all over again. They're slipping all over the road at the moment. As
if everybody does pit for intermediates,
who's that?
Ending on the gaps, it could bring Lloyd into P3 to P4.
Yeah, so Augustine is the first one on the intermediates as Connor gets past Ryan. So he's gained a position.
And Callum is
still raining. It's raining harder
inside
now.
Of Murphy, but Murphy defends.
So it's roughly 17 seconds for a pit stop, and Augustine
17 seconds.
Roughly 70 to 18 as Callum's defends his position as they as some of them came into the pits. Callum has decided to stay out on the soft tyres. Some still staying out on these dry tyres.
Callum does have better tyres than everybody else on the mediums and hards.
So the first person on intermediates.
Who will come out first
I don't think. When I said it was wet enough, I still feel like Augustine hasn't gained as much. Maybe it's going to be close coming out of the pits at the moment as they're just exiting now. He's going through the first corner now. He's lost one position as he gets past Connor out the exit of the pit. So he's actually just held position. So it was an advantage staying out on the intermediates for one lap longer. So it seems like he's getting wetter and wetter now. So no one has really changed positions. No one's really gained.
At the moment, Ryan is the only one in the top 7 without a penalty.
So Connor on the fresher tyres has literally just got past ABR Connor. So it seems like Augustine is struggling on the intermediate tyres, and who was good in the intermediate conditions in qualifying, I can't remember. But this is where people are good in the wet. Yeah, Bruno was very good in the wet as well.
Penalty for Ryan and Matthew, I believe that was. So has Matthew
Cam's
now
got
got
a
2?
few seconds now. So if he pits now, if I change the gap to leader, how many seconds he's got on Spardon? So he's going to come out right with the leaders if he pits on this lap. Callum does, but
he
Hamilton
still
is
gaining time, mind.
Oh my god, Hamilton is pushing Murphy along through this final sector as it's getting wetter and wetter here in Spa. Going to go around the outside onto the grass, so he's pushed him onto the grass. Don't think any contact there is.
Callum pits.
As Callum is in the pit, so this is going to be close now.
Ryan pits. Oh, Murphy's out. Murphy's wheel is off.
Does he crash it into the pits, doesn't he?
He must have.
What else he's done here?
Unlucky for...
He's lost a rear wheel. How has he parked it there? It's a virtual safety car, so this is going to help Callum so much, this virtual safety car.
It adjusted, it reset him and put him on the track.
Okay, that makes sense. So where's Spardon and Callum going to come out? So virtual safety car, that's helped Callum come out in the lead.
Unlucky for our current leader because he's still on the hard tyres. But
yeah, he's going to drop down a few places here.
However, if he does not get any more penalties, he could manage just to stay in front.
So Connor on Hamilton at the moment, not faster than the Alfa Romeo, down the straight in these wet conditions. Now it's completely difficult game with these wet conditions, as Matthew loses a place to Bruno.
At the moment, the positions what are looking really good is Bruno and Connor could gain so many more positions because of penalties. Because everybody in front of Connor has a penalty, and then the two people in front of Bruno have penalties, but they're all 3 seconds, so they could gain so many more positions.
But these conditions, well, we've only got a few laps left now, so these conditions you can still get penalty as Connor goes down the inside of Hamilton into the chicane.
This is very unlucky for our leader at the moment.
And he's made the move stick. No, he's still there. Hamilton keeps the position
so easily. Oh, this is a shame. Very
there's no surprise there. So all these Ferrari powered cars, this little group here, are all together. What is Connor going to do? Where is he going? He's not going around the outside of Blanchimont in the wet, is he? As they go wide, as Hamilton gets a penalty as well. He's going to go down the inside.
P2 still does not pit. What is going on?
Fair enough. He wants to stay out if he wants to.
Yeah, I know,
is he
but
ghosted or not? No, he's not.
He's going to lose so many more positions.
So Connor gets past Hamilton and the Ferrari of Ryan as Hamilton sticks down the inside.
Hamilton and Connor still battling.
He's just slipping, sliding everywhere. He's just not doing anything at this point.
He didn't go into the pits. He should have tried to go sneakily in with the others.
Oh, and then Hamilton nearly loses at the top of Radion. Just about caught that. He's going to come under attack of Bruno Will in the Mercedes, the championship leader, who was on pole. He got it in the intermediate conditions, so he will be quick in these conditions.
Because of the hard runner left, that has put Lloyd into the points. However, Atomic does not have a penalty, and everybody behind Bruno does until Atomic.
So Bruno Will in a good position at the moment.
And there is contact between Lloyd and Matthew. Lloyd does hit his back end around nearly. So
Callum at the moment has pulled a massive gap on Spardon at the moment. Spardon seems like he's holding up Linus at the moment. But
even from penalties now,
these conditions.
It looks like Callum will still win this race. Unless we get a safety car.
Yeah, I highly doubt it. Do you want to check the positions of the top 5 or so?
Oh, never mind. I've just turned it to penalties, and Callum has a 9-second penalty.
Oh, I don't know what Spardon has at the moment.
Spardon has 3, Linus has 3, Ryan has 3, Hamilton has 6. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but P8 has 6, Matthew has 3, Lloyd has 3, Aiden has 3, and the other Alpha Tauri has 3. So this
it's all going to change at the end.
This could already be, it's going to be very close for a podium for Callum. If he's going to make a podium.
Struggling to get up. The Rouge and Radion. Is that Linus making a move? No, he
At the moment,
have a look.
the people what have gained the person what's gained the most positions out of everybody is Linus. He's gained 8 positions, and we have a tie for most lost positions. What is Aiden and Atomic, sadly.
So they're not faring well in these conditions, but now Linus is now back, still behind, actually, the racing point. So we know who not good in the wet at the moment is Spardon. Not enjoying these intermediate conditions. Doesn't seem, well, we've only got 2 laps to go. Last lap next time round.
In my opinion, this is going to be very close for P1. Because if Linus and Spardon keep battling and Callum can keep pulling a gap, then it's going to be very close. If they do have contact, could open the gap up for Callum.
Yeah, but it makes passing 10 times more difficult in the rain. You just have to slow the car down. As
Yeah.
Connor basically brakes as late as he can, nearly hits Linus. So now everyone is now behind Spardon at the racing point. He's got a nice train forming here. It's back like in the normal conditions.
This could even end up being a pole position. No. Actually, it could be a pole position for Connor, because he does not have any penalties. If he keeps the no penalties, he could actually
final lap.
get P1.
Final lap, Linus having a look for P2. What can he do? Is he going to send it down the inside? No, he's still behind him. Looks like he made a little bit of contact with the racing point. Doesn't do anything, but meanwhile, Callum is out in front but has a few penalties. Spardon just gets another one. So as he's hit him. Linus has hit him under the wet conditions, and now he looks like he might have a bit of contact. Who's spinning around? So Connor, with no penalties at the moment, looked like he might get the win on penalties.
Because Callum now has 12 second penalties. This could even be Bruno into P2.
And HeyDT has lost it out of Rouge.
And then it's up to Linus and Ryan, who gets P3. Because everybody else has
Bruno,
penalties.
Will and Connor looking very good for a podium at the moment, as Bruno Will is behind his teammate. Might have a bit of wing damage to Linus as hitting Spardon.
Up, it could open the gap for Linus, what I do not believe at the moment.
But at the moment, final lap,
Callum
who's lost it? Someone else. So Callum effectively is going to cross the line in first, but has penalties to be added up as he locks up in these very wet bus stop chicane.
Callum P5. This could
comes across the line effectively to win, but we got penalties to add up. So Connor with no penalties surely must take P1.
Yes, Connor's P1.
Which he does. Where does everyone line up? Linus and Bruno Will goes into second place.
I knew he was going to take P5.
As all the penalties get added. Atomic moves up a load.
Lloyd is P8. Matthew is P10. Aiden still misses out.
Very close race, like it always is in Tier 1, as Ryan gets driver of the day. Could you invite the podium?
Yes, I could.
See what the finishing standings were. Very interesting race, always interesting to see Tier 1 go round a wet Spa. Very interesting with the rain at the end. As ABR Connor takes a win at round 13.
Who is it? That's Ryan as well up there, isn't it? Who's the other driver? Bruno.
Bruno Will. I think it is, yes, Connor, I think it is. Great race. Once again. And let's have a look at the finishing positions. So Connor wins on penalties and Bruno Will jumps a few places at the end. So effectively we're front two we started on the grid is back at the front again. ABR
And
Ryan
Linus keeps
from
fastest lap as
10th
well.
makes the podium. Very interesting, very close racing once again. So Callum had loads, but he's had 12 penalties, so he wasn't going to get the win this time out.
Linus
As
kept
many of them did,
fastest
actually.
lap by a second, near enough. To the next
Yeah, so
fastest
he gets
lap.
an extra point. So how many? Who have we got?
Only 2 DNFs as well.
Yes, so people in the points: Augustin, Matthew, Lloyd, Hamilton, Atomic, Callum, Linus, Ryan, Bruno, Will, and Connor, all getting points today. And I don't know about the championship, but Bruno will getting a decent amount of points again. And do you want to take P3 interview?
Yes, I will. That's Ryan, isn't it? Yes.
Yep.
So Ryan, how did that go for you?
In the end, very well, to be fair. I think me and Murphy, who done hard, I think, from the start. I think if
Yes.
the safety car didn't come out, we would have probably got 1-2 there. But in the end, people made mistakes and mopped up the result, so I can't complain. They had the pace on the way anyway, so
Yeah.
probably wasn't that great, but yeah, it's a hard race. Very hard
It
race.
looked very challenging.
Indeed.
Well, how many penalties did you get, Ryan? I can't remember at this point.
It was only one, wasn't it?
Also,
I
there
really don't think I should have had an extra warning, but warning I got was just stupid.
Well, fair enough. It
That's
looked
what it
very
is.
close during the wet and the dry. During the start of the race, it looked like people were holding each other up. Where did you think you were going to start? When I finished at the end of this race, from your starting position was 10th, I believe. So you made up quite a few positions. Were you expecting a podium today?
I was looking at the weather. Like I said, they're going on a hard, so I knew the others would struggle tyre wise. So I didn't what I was expecting, and so I got it. So I can't really complain in the end.
A very good race from you.
Yeah, cheers.
What round is Monza next? Feel good about going around Monza? Fair
Not
enough.
at all. That's all I'll say. See what happens.
So we
Never
don't
know
have.
about safety cars as well.
Oh, my safety cars.
We don't have.
It never
second
normally
place.
works for me, but
Well, some people got lucky with the safety car this time out,
yeah.
and some didn't. We don't have P2 of Bruno Wills, so we go straight to first place man, ABR Connor. Brilliant race from you, no penalties at all. Started P2, I believe, and finished first, so great result from you, 1 position gained. How was your race for you? It's a very hectic race.
Pretty terrible to be honest, because I span like all by myself, but I'm just happy to get first.
Very interesting throughout the whole race, because I couldn't keep up with half the moves going on. What was your feeling about going into the wet conditions? Were you feeling confident after the wet qualifying as well?
Yeah, because I'm usually quite fast and wet, but I don't really know.
Well, you got lucky with Callum having a 12-second
12.
penalty at the end, so well, you had none, so obviously you're going to win that. Great race from you, and the same question again. How do you feel about Monza?
It's not really a good track for me, but we'll see what happens.
Well, as we've seen today, anything can happen
Yeah.
in this tier, as is extremely close racing throughout. And that will be it for us today. Next time out will be in Monza, and same time, same place on Twitch for tier 1. And we've got first out we have tier 3 at Monza, so that'll be an interesting race. And that'll be all from us today.